Namaste. I have pleasure in acknowledging the contribution of the Touch a Life Foundation for firmly putting the spotlight on UN Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs. TAL has launched a commendable initiative to make achievement of SDGs a truly people's movement. It has worked towards forging digital handshakes between those who need assistance and those who are able to share their knowledge, experience, and resources. Friends, water is life. It is difficult to imagine life without this precious commodity. Interplanetary search for life on other celestial bodies therefore tends to look for signs of water. Pictures of the Earth taken from space confirm that our planet appears blue from outside. Water covers almost 71% of the Earth's surface. And yet, what troubles us is that we do not have enough safe water. Let us remember that the human body is about 60% water and we need water to sustain life. Throughout history, human beings settled along riverbanks and other freshwater bodies, giving rise to some of the greatest civilizations that the world has seen and known. Sadly, such civilizations perished when these resources dried up. The Indus Valley civilization, which we are rightly proud of, goes back to almost 2500 BC. Eventually, it disappeared because of climate change and the resulting disruption in the water supply. Our forefathers were wise and recognized that water was precious. Apart from their military campaigns and palace building and other pursuits, they spent time and energy in constructing ponds and storage structures. Krishna Deva Raya was one of the greatest kings of India, and one reason he is remembered even today is for the reservoirs he built. They continue to serve the needs of people long after he has gone. The father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, was also ahead of his time and laid great stress on simple living and the need to avoid extravagant use of resources. He said, "The world has enough for everyone's needs, but not everyone's greed." This is the meaning of sustainable development, and this the judicial management of water resources as well is implied here. Water and sanitation are closely linked. Gandhiji's message was sanitation is more important than independence. Of course, independence was a cherished moment for each one of us, and we celebrate this with enthusiasm and gusto as we are now into its 75th year. Let us take our nation to new glories by taking a giant leap towards ensuring water, sanitation, and hygiene for all. On World Water Day on 22 March, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres noted that one out of three people do not have access to safe drinking water. There are fears that by 2050, as many as 5.7 billion people could be living in water scarcity conditions. Friends, what is most worrying is that by 2040, the demand for water could escalate by more than 50%, putting additional stress on this vital resource. Those 20 years old today will touch 40 years by this date. Unless remedial action is taken now, they will see a more intense scramble for water. It is troubling to read research which suggests that the wars of the future will be fought over water. There should be no wars. The world is one and we should live as one. And when it comes to water, we should keep the global interests in mind. I am haunted by the images of the Aral Sea in Central Asia, which has practically dried up. And when I traveled to the island country of Kiribati in the South Pacific, I saw a country confronted with the dangers of going underwater as sea levels continue to rise. Kiribati has worked out arrangements to shift its entire population to neighboring Fiji as and when this happens. The younger generation, which sees the world as one big stage and as one big family, will not only have to understand the global, regional, and local issues, but also give the right answers. There is a lot to learn from our ancestors who gave respect to rivers and also gave them divine status. Goddess Ganga descended to the earth from the heavens, and the river is sacred, and so are other rivers. The Ganga Action Plan, launched in 1986, aims to restore the health of this sacred river through scientific means by checking the inflow of domestic and industrial effluents. The National Jal Jeevan Mission is directed at ensuring safe drinking water for every household in India by 2024. This is a very comprehensive program which practically covers all aspects of water supply by involving local communities in developing such programs and their implementation. Similarly, the government's Swachh Bharat mission succeeded in building almost 100 million toilets in rural India. Everyone is entitled to a life of dignity. Clean toilets will enhance the quality of rural life, improve the health of women, and increase attendance in schools. My friends, governments cannot do everything. Young people can make a huge difference by supplementing the government's efforts. There is scope for bringing out water conservation techniques practiced by traditional communities over centuries. They know what is good for them, they know what is the best approach, and we need to learn from them. Digital and other scientific methods could also be used to identify and study water resources of neighborhoods. Reservoirs and ponds may have to be cleaned and restored, and wells and groundwater recharged. Tree plantation is another useful and relevant activity. There is a good chance that local solutions may be possible and may be more cost effective too. My friends, many of us belong to that privileged section of society where access to water on a 24 by 7 basis is taken for granted. Let us stop for a minute and think of those who are less fortunate. This is no time to rest. Each time we turn on the tap, and each time we hear the gurgling sound as the water goes down the drainage, let us stop for a second to think where the water might be coming from and where it is going to. This will surely motivate us to make a difference. This is what the work of Touch a Life Foundation is all about too. The laughter of children playing, chirping of birds, and sights of wildlife quenching their thirst will confirm to us that we are on the right track. I am optimistic. Thank you.